Good Monday morning! Short week. Thanksgiving's ahead of us here, and you're watching the main event here on this Monday. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys, and I call him a wussy because he couldn't put on a jacket and show up in the rain on Saturday night. Dale Hillis here, everybody.
I did see somebody, I'm not going to mention names, but I did see somebody who says over his dead body, will he have a poncho on?
I didn't wear a poncho.
There was some type of rain gear that you were all snuggled up in.
There was rain gear on, but there wasn't a poncho on. I have from years ago, my dad's old vice president was from Canada.
Okay.
And we used to go to Pullman, Washington and watch ASU play in November. And it always rained, and I had nothing to keep the rain off me. So I just get soggy, and cold. So he bought me this giant Columbia. It's like a 4X, so you could put 6 layers underneath it. Oh, I pulled it out of the closet for the first time in 4 years. Wiped the dust off of it. Threw it on and went. Kept me dry as a bone up top.
That's very, very
so
good.
So no poncho. I did use an umbrella from time to time when the rain got really hard. I did throw the umbrella up.
Okay, so it was on and off rain for Saturday night.
No, it pretty much rained constantly. It's just off and on, meaning slow drizzle, to where you didn't feel like you were getting wet.
Right.
To just outright downpour. Just outright. When that game started, rain was coming down sideways. Yeah.
Well, you had a great weekend up until yesterday.
Yeah, I enjoyed yesterday too. Yeah, I mean, Cardinals lost, but I enjoyed yesterday's game. I mean, it's frustrating as it is to watch. I mean, there's some good parts to it. I enjoyed watching live.
There for about the first half again in the ASU game, I was kind of hoping that Colorado might be able to pull an upset.
So I had to miss the beginning. I went back and watched parts of it yesterday morning while I was getting ready for the car. These 2 p.m. starts are fun because I can get caught up on what I miss on Saturday.
Right.
But then they suck because you're not pulling in the house till 7-something at night.
It's dark.
Seriously, when you leave Glendale, especially overtime on top of it. So I missed the beginning half of the game live. Thank God, too. That was terrible.
Not a good start. Not a good start, but they figured out a way.
Yeah, that fourth quarter. I got in the car fourth quarter and got to listen to the fourth quarter there with my favorite, Tim Healy and the boys. The rapper, Jeff Van Raspo.
I think you like him. I like him better when they're winning than when they're losing.
The Tim Healy's great and everything, but his scratchy voice when he gets excited actually drives me nuts. It drives me batty when he gets excited on the. Part of that's his voice. Part of that's the inception of the radio, the microphone and stuff for the AM radio is kind of the same deal, but for the radio side of it.
Oh, that's right. They're on AM radio, weren't they?
I believe were they on AM? I believe they were.
Well. Oh, no.
No, were they on 98.7?
Well, hold on.
They get bumped all the time.
Yeah, for the Suns played Saturday night.
No, they played Friday night. So yeah, they had been on 98. I don't remember what channel I was listening to, but yeah, I mean, but even on the FM, it gets a little scratchy. That stuff just hurts my ears. It's not, I'm not knocking the guy or nothing, but it drives me nuts. Drives me nuts when he gets excited. But it was an exciting fourth quarter.
So you cheered SCA onto a victory, you cheered the Sun Devils onto a victory, and there you were, troopsing out to Glendale to make it a trifecta for the weekend.
I knew they were losing yesterday.
No, you did not.
I picked Jacksonville to win.
You did not know they were going to lose.
I am really high on Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence's problem is he plays for Jacksonville. He's got nobody to throw to. His receivers, I'm not going to lie to you guys, his receivers yesterday just let him down repeatedly. It was just.
He made a couple poor decisions yesterday.
No, that's what I was just going to get to. I'm not going to lie to you, he's Kyler Murray. He is great. He threw balls into windows. That was how did that even get to that guy? But then he'll just throw that ball where you're like, what do you, that Budda Baker interception? Right. You could see that coming because it was diagonal from it. You could see that coming the whole way. You could just see that ball was at least going to get knocked down. As soon as you let it go, the guy was open, but by the time he threw it, you're like, oh, that's getting knocked down. And then Budda lays out and gets it. No, he made it. He makes bad decisions. That's what I'm getting at, though. That's what Kyler Murray does too. makes some unbelievable throws at times, and then you're like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Buddha, I thought on that particular interception really invited him, suckered him into
When I
throwing
saw the
that.
replay, I looked up to the TV
Yeah.
behind us in the that goes to the suites behind us, and I was like, that was a good. I'm looking over here. Oh,
Yeah.
whoop.
I'm following your eyes, though. You don't see me looking at you.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that whole secondary yesterday with Will Johnson being out. I thought they kind of baited him to make some throws. But, I mean, there was one play late in the game where Patrick for the Jaguars, they sent him in motion, and he just kept running, and no Cardinal went with him. And he threw the ball to him, and Patrick never turned around.
Oh.
And I mean, that was an
he
easy.
looked at him like, what are
Yeah.
you doing throwing the ball to
And that
me?
was an easy touchdown. That was an easy touchdown if he would have just turned his head. And I'm like, how do you not realize you're running free to turn your head around at some point to realize the ball might be coming your way?
Whether you're the number 1 read
Yeah.
or the number 3
And
read.
he was not the number one read, I could tell you that, because he was looking left at first, but I think he realized, he was like, oh my God, he's running wide open. over there.
Nobody went with him.
And I was just like, how do you not turn around? His receivers let him down. But I don't know. I got to rethink this. Trevor Lawrence is his problem's Jacksonville. Mm-hmm.
I think the thing is you're going to find out because they're squarely in the playoff.
Oh,
line.
yeah, absolutely.
But I certainly would not put a whole lot of money on them having any success in the playoffs.
But there's not a lot of talent on that team. Etienne, I mean, looked like a Hall of Fame running back yesterday.
Well, that field looked
beat up.
It looked like they had it out in the rain the whole week.
So where I sit, you can't see all those divots and stuff. But I saw a couple camera angles on like replays where it wasn't green, it was brown from all the divots being dug up and all of that.
Guys were slipping and sliding.
The interesting thing is when ASU plays, like during timeouts, during halftime, etc., they have guys out there with buckets picking up the big chunks that come out of the ground.
Okay.
Why don't they do that for the Cardinals?
Well, they probably didn't have enough buckets.
That's probably.
Hey, we start doing this, it's gonna.
Yeah. I'm like, somebody's going to, I don't know, Walter Nolan, somebody's going to twist a knee or something out there by getting their foot stuck in a hole or, like you said, slipping on a divot. You know, that's out.
Right.
I know. Replace your divot, guys, after you get off the ground. So can you imagine a lineman getting up and then planning down his divot before he walks?
Every player has a caddy that comes out. And
So we'll talk Cardinals, of course, today. Bruce Cooper is joining us tomorrow. Like normal here as well. We got we got Lou on Wednesday at 9:00. No UFC this week coming up, so we'll be all NFL mostly with him going to this week. And then, of course, Coach is said he is going to join us this week. I just got to confirm the time coming up here. Short week here because they have a championship game coming up this Saturday against St. John's. 2 out-of-town opponents that are lesser known to us in town.
yep.
Coming up this weekend, St. John's, Saturday night, 6 p.m. 3 p.m., excuse me, at Mountain Point for the 2A game.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't get a chance to look up who's in the 3A championship because they play that afterwards as well. And then ASU, of course, U of A. Everybody calls it Hate Week. I don't particularly care for that term. But, this week, Friday night. So I don't have any. I thought they were the same day again because they were the same day the last year.
Right.
I thought they were the same day, but they're not. Because I was like, we're going to go to SCA game at 3. Leave. The ASU game starts at, I think, 6. I'm like, we'll have to leave early and then get over to ASU for that game. But then I realized that over the weekend, ASU plays Friday night.
Right.
So I get that. I get that reprieve.
So maybe you can just call ASU U of A Friendsgiving.
So my whole life growing up, it was always Friday after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Always. And then when the networks started getting involved, they
Yeah.
switched it to Saturday afternoon. And then, so I was just used to it being on Saturday now. And so I was like, oh, and we're back to Friday again. It's better on a Friday than it was on the Saturdays.
Yeah, well,
Just
that gives
feels
you a
different.
chance to do them. Now the Cardinals are on the road this week.
Yeah. Well, they might get lucky. Baker, they go to Tampa this week.
Okay.
Baker got hurt last night. His non-throwing shoulder, but it looked painful.
Yeah.
It looked painful last night. I wonder how much of that was, was getting his butt kicked there by the Rams, where it was like, all right, come on over here. let's take care of you for the rest of the time. So Cardinals might get lucky here from that front.
Suns won a couple games over the weekend.
Friday night was amazing.
My goodness.
I'll tell you guys this. Friday night was the first game I watched the whole game. The whole game.
Really?
Yeah, of the Suns this year. I usually miss some of the first quarter, fall asleep, those late ones, fall asleep at some point during it and everything. Oh, first team. It was something like 3,000 times in the NBA where teams had won, 0 losses, up by 8 with less than a minute to go. Now they're 3,000 and something and 1 because the Suns were able to pull that out against Minnesota of all people.
So a couple historic things happened over the weekend, because I think the Cardinals were the fact that as far as
First
the
team.
team having 4 turnovers and not winning.
Yeah.
Setting history aside here in the Valley.
Yeah. Greg, of course, listener Greg was tweeting me those stats, and then it was tweeting me those stats after the game. He was all over it. He was fired. He's a fellow season ticket holder,
Right.
so he sits in these games too, like I do. Robert was at the Cardinals game yesterday, and it was funny. Yeah, it was funny because I'm just standing there like on the club level, waiting for Autumn. She was getting nachos, and I'm with Autumn's son Thomas came with us, and Ethan was there, and I'm just standing there. I hear somebody go, "They let anybody in here." I turn around and I'm like, that's Robert. And then I did that double think thing where I was like, oh, is that Robert? Like, is that his name? So I walk up and I'm like, hey, I go, what's your name again? And I do. And he goes, Robert. And I go, ah. My worst fear is that I was being like, Robert. And he's like, oh, it's Greg or it's Keith. It was great to see him there. He went to the game.
Well,
yesterday
my
for him.
question is
Robert Chambers.
when he said don't let anybody in here, why is it you that turned around?
Hey, well, I know I did too. I go, what? I know my place, Dave.
Don't you know who I am?
I know my place. I just assumed it was a Cardinal, somebody from the Cardinals going, I thought we banned you from this place.
That's like you're standing there in a group of people because somebody goes, hey, old man. And you're the one that turns around.
That's a good point. I didn't realize I did that.
Yeah.
When he said don't let anybody in here, I'm like, what? Tells you where I thought it was. So, geez. But let's start off. How was your Friday night? I know all of the high school scores except for one. Ironically enough, I'm assuming Chandler won because we would have heard if they did not.
They did,
So-
and it was a big halftime lead. Brophy.
Chandler
Excuse
Brophy
me.
Friday night down there in Chandler. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was something like 21-0. Again, as soon as I leave a game, I kind of
I
forget
know.
about it.
I get that. Yeah.
But Chandler was up big at halftime. Then Brophy came out. Devin Fitzgerald, Larry Fitzgerald's
Yep.
son, had 4 touchdown catches.
That means Case Vandenbosch,
Yes.
Kyle Vandenbosch's
Yeah.
kid, had a good game then, or at least 4 touchdowns.
Second half, all in the
Yeah.
second half.
Yeah,
And
okay. So they came back.
They
Huh?
came back, made it a game, made it a 1-score game.
Chandler did that against Hamilton,
Yes,
too.
they did. We were talking about that,
Chandler can't hold on to those
Yeah.
big leads.
and but
Well,
they ended up.
can eventually, but
Well, they did. They did against Hamilton.
yeah, that's true. Hamilton won it, but
Yeah,
they let the teams back in, huh?
And it was really interesting. It was the Hamilton game was the last game they played on that field, and so you're kind of seeing it. I'm seeing it happen before my eyes. Like, I've seen this show before, and but they finally righted the ship a little bit, and they ended up, I think, winning by 2 scores.
That what it was, yeah. And isn't that funny? I know all the other open and 6A scores, but that one for some reason I didn't see anywhere. But that's why I was like, all right, Chandler had to have won because if Brophy would have been an upset if Brophy would have beat the 4 seed.
Right.
Chandler. So I was like, I would have heard if Devin Fitzgerald and Case Vandenbosch and there's another kid of it, McNabb. I would have heard if they would have come back.
Yep.
They would have beat Chandler. So I assume that happened. But good game though, at least, right?
Yeah, it ended up being a good game. It's interesting because the other thing we're talking about, Chandler's an interesting setup because they have 2 full press boxes.
Yeah.
One on the home sideline,
Yeah.
one on the visiting
They're
sideline.
they're one of those ones that do it right for
Yeah.
everybody.
And so we're on the visiting side this time, and I was looking at the Chandler stands. There were more people there for the Hamilton game than there were for this open playoff game.
It wasn't raining Friday night,
No,
was it?
it ended up being a nice night.
Isn't that weird? Well, that was the battle for Arizona Avenue. That meant something.
Well, so
Not those
does-
snotty-nosed Brophy kids.
Well, I'm just saying the Chandler sideline was Brophy doesn't usually.
No,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I'm talking about. Chandler was like,
Yeah.
we're not showing up for Brophy snobby punks.
Well, it'll be interesting because now Hamilton Chandler play,
Yeah, I know. The battle happens again.
and
Hold on. What if they split the battle of Arizona Avenue? Do they was it halfway
yeah, I
between
wonder
the
if you have
schools?
to get the
Do they-
trophy back if you beat him in the playoffs.
I know. It's still a battle,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating game because obviously Chandler is going to be upset how they gave that game up,
yep.
on that side. And I think Hamilton looked all right over the weekend, too, from what I understand.
I've got
I tend to agree with you, though. Now, I haven't seen Liberty. I haven't seen them, but they're winning it again this year. I'm sorry.
it'll be interesting to see. I got Liberty and Basha this weekend.
Woo!
I've not seen Basha.
I'm interested in knowing what you think of Basher because I'm torn on them.
Yeah,
I think they're really, really good. They have a lot of talent.
yeah.
I think they're missing something.
They got a lot of D1 talent.
But I think they don't click properly. So it'll be
Okay.
interesting to see this weekend. I think it'll be interesting to see this weekend against Liberty. I would have Liberty. If I had to guess right now, I think Liberty is going to win this game. And I think Liberty will probably win this game by 10-plus points. But
Really?
It's not going to be a blowout, but
Okay.
Liberty will come out winning. Just I haven't seen Liberty play in person, but I was watching some highlights and stuff. It just, to me, Bashers just doesn't click. I don't know how to explain it. A lot of talent on that team, but they just don't click to the point where you're like, oh, this team is dominant and nobody's going to beat them. They're beatable. I'll put it that way. They're beatable. Whereas at the beginning of the season, everybody was like, Basher's going to be unbeatable. And I think they're beatable, especially with a team like Liberty, from what I understand. I might have to go to that game just to check it out because see Liberty in person.
Friday night, I got ALA Queen Creek at Centennial.
Yeah, for the 6A then.
Yeah.
What ALA Queen Creek end up having as a schedule? I mean, as a record at the end of the year, because they were 0-for until they played Queen Creek and beat them. Then I think they won. I know they won at least 3. Let me look that up here real quick.
Yeah,
So
I've
I
not
think
seen the
I think
record.
this is a battle of 2 teams under 500 because Centennial was too, weren't they? I could be wrong. Because I know ALA Queen Creek beat Perry on Friday night. Let me see here. Queen Creek 6-6 overall. ALL Queen Creek ends up being that includes the win on Friday nights. Yeah, so they went in 5-6 in the
Okay.
playoffs.
And Centennial, they always play a tough schedule, but
They weren't. Well, I remember last year they were 3 wins when they went and won the whole thing
Right.
in 6A. So, let me look up Centennial here. They weren't as good as you. They had a disappointing year. Let's put it that way. They beat Mesa, and Mesa came back in that game.
Yeah.
They were big, and Mesa with those California kids.
yes.
Came back into this game, made it a ball game late. I did see all that stuff. I take it back. Centennial, they're 8-4.
Okay.
See, I saw Centennial early in the season, and I was like,
Well, if they're 8-4, then that means that they were 6-4 at the end of the regular season. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw Centennial twice this year, and I was like, no, that's the 6A. That's not the Open.
Correct.
So, that's not that that's a lesser thing. Don't take it that way, but obviously the big boys are up in the Open side
Yeah.
of things and stuff to that.
And it's kind of like the 4 teams that you thought would be there in the Open are there.
And I'm not going to lie to you, Liberty, which I haven't seen in person, but I've just been reading about them. I saw a lot of highlights from that game, and I was even like,
Their
it was
defense
Liberty,
is for real.
Centennial, Hamilton, and I always said all year you could probably throw Chandler into that mix as the top 4, but definitely you had all year long you had Basha and you had Hamilton. I'm sorry, you had Basha and Liberty as 2 of the 2 teams that you're like these 2 teams are destined to meet at the end of
Right.
the year. And then as the season went on, you added Hamilton to that mix.
Yep.
And then Chandler, you kind of I added them as kind of like they might be a step down from those 3. But they can compete, and they might do damage against those guys and make it to the championship game. But other than that, everybody after that, to be honest with you, is a big step down.
They're a pretty significant step down.
Yeah.
What's interesting about Hamilton is they lost their stud sophomore quarterback
Yeah, out for the season.
against
knee injury.
Chandler. Yeah. And I haven't read a whole lot about it, but I mean, here's a sophomore. Him and that Oliver, the wide receiver, were setting records all over the place. So.
And I think he ended up hurting his other knee last year at the end of the season. He hurt one knee, and I think this is his other knee. I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
But 2 major knee injuries to end his season, late in the season, no less.
As a sophomore in high
sophomore.
school.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, I mean, it just what does that mean for futures, right? From that side of it. That's just weird to me, too. He's a running quarterback, so. But yeah, SCA Saturday night in the rain. I mean, it was weird. And a coach there on SCA I was talking to after the game, and I'm not gonna name him. It wasn't Sheehan, but I'm not gonna name him. But he goes, man, we sucked when it was raining hard, and it's true. When the rain was pouring down, like SCA just couldn't do anything. But it came to a drizzle, and all of a sudden they were SCA you've seen all year long. It was weird how that happened. But Wilcox has different weather than we have here. I don't know how much it rains down there, but it's cold, it's windy down there, and stuff to that effect. And so they're probably used to that. They look like they enjoyed it a little bit more. Let's just put it that way. Their fan base was on fire. All SCA, they're all bundled up.
Yeah.
And, we don't play in that type of rain very often, and that type of weather very often. And I think in Wilcox, they probably pay in it a little bit more.
I would think so.
But yeah, it was a big deal. But I mean, it was a fantastic game.
Good crowd?
Oh yeah, great crowd for a Friday night or for a Saturday night in the rain.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't sit in the bleachers at all. My ankle did its little thing, so I had to go the urgent care on Saturday morning. So I had to get a steroid shot and everything to make my ankle feel better. And I didn't want to sit on the wet bleachers. It was, like you were texting me beforehand, and I went to pick up a pizza at 3:34 before I left for the game. And because it was so nice too, Dale. I was 15 minutes from my house for this game. It was beautiful. And you text. I was literally about to text you a picture of what my neighborhood looked like.
Right.
I mean, it looked like the ark was about to come floating through the front of my house. It was just so much rain, and even then, I was like, I'm not going to this game tonight if it's like this. But then it let up a little bit, became a sprinkle, and then I was looking at the radar, and it said it was going to let up at some point, but it just didn't ever let up.
Right.
I don't know, the rain cell just stayed over us the whole night. A lot of mistakes, obviously, in those rainy conditions are going to happen, turnovers, things to that effect. But again, it comes down to a 4th down play to end the game, and the SCA was able to stop them and then take the knee and win the game. It just 2 games in a row now that has come down to that specific scenario, and they're able to do it. Yeah.
A little more scoring this game than the last game.
Yeah, it wasn't 14-7.
Right.
I mean, Wilcox's first drive of the game, intercepted, pick 6. Wilcox is a good team. Like I said, they got a future. I don't know how old their kids are, but they're going to be good if they're young kids.
Well, didn't they just run the ball?
No, they threw the ball a lot.
Oh, did they?
I was surprised. Yeah.
Okay.
SCA brings out something. I mean, they ran the ball a lot. Don't get me wrong, and they do run. I was surprised because I was under the impression, by all my reading and looking at their film and stuff like that, that they just run the ball straight ahead. They run that wing T.
Yeah.
And I was funny too. Like it was either the 3rd or 4th quarter. Like I was talking about the wing T, and Autumn was like, "What does that mean?" Blah blah. So I was telling her, and I go, "It's where you can hand the ball to the guy on the right side, and he can go right. You can hand the ball to the guy on the left side, and go left. You can hand the ball to the guy, and he can go up the middle." I said, or you fake it to one side and give it to the other guy. And so I was explaining it to her, and I go, but very rarely do they run it up the middle. Next play, big old long 40-yard run right up the middle.
Really?
And I was like, or you get a 40-yard pickup running it straight up the middle, untouched.
So you were thinking like Paul Clark was thinking, well, they don't run up the middle.
It was like what? So it was good. It was these guys. The Cardinals' problem is, if I can equate it to the Cardinals, just don't know how to win. They have no clue how to win. In SCA, man, they'll get those down to those tight games, and they do just enough. No matter how bad the game is for them, no matter how bad they look, they do just enough that you can't count them out till the end.
Right.
Because they do just enough to be there at the end, and then just enough to stop the other team and get the win. That's all coaching, in my opinion. That's all coaching, and that's the Cardinals' problem.
Well,
and Mike and his coaching staff, whatever they're doing in practice, it's setting these kids up to be comfortable in these situations where they need to win a game.
Well,
can do it.
it's that plus it's also having success in those situations.
Yeah, so there's no doubt.
So you again, the first time you face it, do you have success in that close game situation? You make a play to win the game, or do you make a play to lose the game?
Yeah.
And that will carry on because then it becomes contagious.
I mean, any other team these last 2 weeks, I would have been like, this game's over. But with the SCA, you're like, they got another they got a shot at this.
Right.
They got a shot at this. And it's an amazing that even as like a fan, right? You're like, it goes off to you. Because I was thinking about it after the game, and I was like, any other game, I would have been like, they're not going to win this. They're out of it now.
Right.
They're not going to come back. And then, boom, there they are. And it's just like, what? So, I mean, it is amazing. And that's what's amazing. Like, I talk about this with ASU, with Kenny Dillingham. I mean, how awful was their first half? Did you have faith they weren't going to eventually pull out that game, even if it was close? Like, you're like, oh, they're going to be in this game till the end. Let's see what happens, whatever. Then you got SEA from that perspective where you're just always thinking it. And then the Cardinals yesterday, you're just like, how are we going to blow this game?
Yeah.
How are we going to blow this game? It's fascinating, the difference. And then even watching the Suns. You watch the Suns, and you're like, they're going to be in this game. I have no doubt about that.
Right.
And then you got this one team over in Glendale where you're just like all negative and all that stuff. And I'm going to tell you, what's the difference between all of these teams? And, I know Mike Sheehan, and everything, and consider him a friend and all that stuff. But I see the way he coaches these kids and the way they react, the way they interact on the sidelines, the professionalism of that team. And then I watch the Cardinals, and you just don't see it. You don't see accountability in that stuff. You see, everything's fine. We're going to go back and prepare. How we get out of this is we prepare. I guarantee you. I mean, after that game, Mike Sheehan and I saw him after the game. We were talking. And he was like, we got to go fix this. We got to go fix that. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to do this. And then I watched Jonathan Gannon's press conference. Oh, I'm perfectly fine about that last play. I loved it. And it's amazing to see the differences. Coaches that are successful and win these last games, they're not satisfied after the game, win or lose. And then Jonathan Gannon's like, I loved it. We needed to do that. It's great. Now we're just going to go prepare again this week. It's amazing seeing the differences here between coaches and one particular coach.
Go to work. Got to go to work, Steve.
It's just like, what
Well, I've
is
told
happening?
you before, I've bet on some really, really, really good football teams.
Yeah.
By the way, all last week, the Twitter wars going on that Dak Prescott's better than Troy Aikman.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes,
And I
like,
stayed out of it, but I was like, are you kidding me?
It's like, okay, well,
because didn't Dak just become the winning or the most yardage zone or something like that?
Yeah, and they were saying he's better than Troy and blah, blah. And
game-
Ed Werder's fighting back.
Games changed a little bit since Troy played.
Yes, it has. But I've also bet on a couple really bad teams.
Yeah.
And that 2-14 Buffalo team, my first year in the league, we stood on the sidelines. I promise you, if you go back and look at the scores of that 85 season, there are a bunch of them that were 10-point games, 14-point games at the end, but we're within one score in the fourth quarter. And then you're standing on the sidelines going, who's going to screw it up?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to make a mistake to cost us, not who's going to make the play to help us win this game, which is kind of crazy.
It is being in person and seeing both of them this weekend. Like I was literally just sitting there yesterday, just being like, it just ringing in my ears. Like this coaching staff is not it. They don't have it. Like the team hasn't quit on them. I'll give them that, but they don't have what it takes to get a big win at the end of a game. They just don't. And it's just they have the talent and all of that stuff. It's just I think I put it on Twitter yesterday. It's almost as if the Cardinals are like, we're going to lose this anyway, so let's just screw it up ourselves. It almost feels like that at some point. And the play I'm specifically talking about is Cardinals go down, score, and take the lead. And then the defense becomes this porous thing where Jacksonville, who hasn't driven the ball at all in the second half, just takes it down the field and scores and takes the lead back. With no fight from the defense on the defensive play calls. It's like they went into a prevent. And you're just sitting there going, are you trying to lose this game right now? So it is interesting to see the differences. But, yeah, so SCA this weekend, St. John's, and I know nothing about St. John's. I'm going to have to watch their game film here to get ready for them this weekend as well. But, yeah, look, they're doing what Chiefs made it to their third Super Bowl last year and didn't win it. Three-peats are hard, Dale. I will say this. This is the hardest playoff run that SEA's gone through out of the other two in terms of who they're playing and the types of teams that they're playing. I will give the AIA some credit. They've set this up with that 10th game. They've set it up nice to where you're playing the playoff run is hard.
Right.
It's not just because you're a 1 seed that you get an easy schedule till the quarterfinals and then the finals. It's even before that. You have hard games you have to prepare for and play for. You got to give the AIA some credit on the 2A side at least, because that's what I'm more familiar with to get to the end of that game. It is fun to watch. It makes it more fun to watch.
I just pulled up the 85 schedule.
Yeah, I have it here too.
I mean, it got blown out a couple times, but we lost our first game 14-9.
Yeah.
Have a chance to win that, get killed by the Jets. Then 17-14 loss to the Patriots. 27-20, we get killed by the Colts.
That was the Vikings. You lost 27-20.
Yeah. 14-3.
Oh, Colts! You didn't get killed by the Colts. You got murdered. 49-17.
Yeah.
The 85 Buffalo. And what was it? 2 years later, you're in the AFC Championship game.
88 we were.
Yeah. So
3 years 21-9, 21-17, 23-17, 17-7, 23-14. All those games. And they probably scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter to make it that
there,
big of a difference.
Yeah. And then San Diego there, 40-7 beat you.
Yeah.
85. Was that Dan Fouts back then?
No, Fouts was already gone.
He was gone in 85. Yeah. I wasn't sure if he was hanging on there.
It'd sound better if he was.
I mean, Pittsburgh 30-24.
Yeah.
And then your last game of the season must have been the U-Haul game.
Oh, yeah.
28-0 loss to Miami.
Yeah. Let's get the hell out of here. I think that's the year Miami went to the Super Bowl.
That's what I was just going to say. That's not a bad team to lose to,
right.
For a U-Haul game there. Yeah, we're not winning this. Miami's too good. We're out of here. But, yeah, no, you could speak about that more than I could in terms of the locker room and just having that confidence. But I firmly believe it starts in practice. And I think that, like the Cardinals, you see it with ASU when they were struggling. They've gotten better here. Now, they have their struggles. Don't get me wrong. That first half was god-awful. You do that first half this week against Arizona, you're going to be down 21-0, if not worse. But they find a way to get through it. And you saw Kenny talking about his practices, and they get more physical and stuff like that. And then Jonathan Gannon, well, it starts with preparation this week. That's how we're going to get out of this, preparation.
Well, again,
does that mean you're not preparing and losing? So now you have to prepare to win? Like, what does that even mean?
Well, and that's the thing that I figured out, because we worked long days in Buffalo, that 85.
Yeah. You said you were 12-hour days?
8 o'clock, we'd leave at 6. Yeah. And there'd be meeting after meeting after meeting, then practice, walkthroughs, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, Marv Levy came in there that 88 season. We'd come in at 9.
Yeah.
We'd be done with practice at 3, and he'd have us out of there by 3:30.
It's like those guys that go to the gym and work out for 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's like you're not working out for 4 hours. You're having social time and you're relaxing a lot. If you go for an hour, do the same routine in an hour and a half, and don't get those breaks, you're going to get a better workout than going and hanging out at the gym for 4 hours.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. And I'm not even convinced the Cardinals know how to work. I've talked about this before. They're too young of a coaching staff. They don't know how to solve this problem.
And that is a thing. But again, you look at the coaching staff. They came from Philly, where they won.
Yeah, but again, you're not the guy to solve it. I mean, Penzing came from Cleveland. I mean, everybody, he was in Cleveland. Okay. Woohoo!
Well, and then I noticed you said something on Twitter, the fact that the Raiders made a move.
Giants fired their defensive coordinator today because another fourth quarter meltdown by the Giants yesterday. Yeah. Like, I root for the Giants. If you don't know, I grew up a huge Giants fan with Lawrence Taylor. This was before it was Broncos or Cowboys, and I favored the Broncos. And then I love the Lawrence Taylor defenses. I just fell in love with defense early. So I was a big Giants fan. Giants are still in my heart. I still root for them and all of that stuff. And I'm sick of these fourth quarter meltdowns by the Giants. And everybody's making moves. Chip Kelly just signed a 3-year extension in the offseason.
Maybe the highest paid assistant.
That's
in
why
the league.
we did it. Highest paid offensive coordinator in the league.
Yeah.
And Pete Carroll and the Raiders went, it ain't working. See you later. Now, the Giants DC, he's out of a job at the end of this year anyway because his head coach was blown out.
Right.
So you're just making that move a little early to kind of be like, this isn't acceptable kind of a deal. But they're making changes. And then Jonathan Gannon. Everything's good. We just gotta start with preparation and film.
Get to work tomorrow.
I listened to his press conference, the media press conference yesterday after the game. I listened to his hit on 98.7 with whoever that is after the game. And it changed the wording a little bit, but I mean he was tripling down, doubling down, tripling down on the play calling and stuff to that effect. And it's just when everybody in the world is on Twitter in real time arguing with your play calling and your decisions, there's something wrong with this. I'm just telling you. Because there's usually not a consensus like this at this point. There's usually not. Usually it's half the fans are happy with it, half the fans aren't.
Right.
And this was just in real time. People, and I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you at all. I'm not saying you don't know football, but people sitting on their couch at home, not have worked 9 to 5 every day, right? Or 9 to 9 every day. Work hard all week long. Aren't studying film left and right. Aren't watching the all 22s. Aren't doing any of that. And they instinctively know you're making mistakes with your play calling. That should tell you something. That's all I'm going to say. You should be able to step back and go, we're obviously doing something wrong, guys. Not because we're not losing, not because we're losing, but dear God, everybody in the world thinks we're a bunch of F-ups. Maybe we should relook at this. Then you got Calais Campbell in the locker room yesterday. Guys fought hard, but it's an NFL business, man. You got to find a way to win ball games. Calais Campbell carries some weight in this league. You know, What's he, 18 years now, 17 years now? And he's putting up numbers. He's a force out there still. And it's just – and I'll say it, the players played hard yesterday. And the players look, the offensive line still struggles. Now they're a patchwork. Will Hernandez goes out. Will Hernandez hasn't been himself this year, but you noticed Will Hernandez went out, and that offensive line started to struggle. Even though he's not what he was in the past coming back from that knee injury, when he is in there, that offensive line plays different. It does. The second he went out, you could instantly see Jacksonville getting through that line quicker and hitting Jacoby even faster. It was amazing to watch, Dale. Amazing. So I'm not saying they played perfect or anything like that, and the players have some culpability, but the coaching staff is not helping them and putting in a position to be successful, and that's what's disappointing in my eyes.
Well, at the end of the day, when you look at the Arizona Cardinals, I think the most disappointing thing the initial most disappointing thing to me is the offensive line has regressed dramatically.
You can't have a successful offense if your offensive line is that bad.
Right.
You just can't.
I mean, it's a close game, right? It's a close game. This is not, hey, you're down 30-3 in the second quarter. This is a close game all the way through. Mm-hmm. They rushed 20 times for 55 yards.
Yeah. They had 32 at halftime, I think it was. I can look at it. I have it saved on my phone. Nothing. That was what I said at halftime with my stats was, where's the running game? Not even trying the running game at this point.
Well, and now on the I guess the good side, happy side, it looks like Michael Wilson.
Okay,
might be a guy.
You have your number one receiver, folks. I'm just going to tell you right now. You have your number one receiver. He is above Marvin Harrison Jr. Period. End of story. Right now, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have to earn that number one spot back. He's doing things that Marvin Harrison Jr. dreams of doing in the NFL. Say it's a knock on Marvin all you want. 2 games in here, he's had 2 solid games. Has Marvin Harrison Jr. had 2 solid games in a row?
No. Not in 2 years.
Even with Jacoby Brissett. Take away the Kyler Murray games that he started. With Jacoby Brissett. Not only that, I'll even go a step farther than you. Wilson, Trey, is an unbelievable duo there as a receiving core. They have come out under their own. They are the future of your franchise as receivers. Now, add Marvin Harrison Jr. in there as well, but Wilson needs to be your 1. Trey's your 2. Marvin Harrison Jr. would be your 3 in terms of that side. And that's if Marvin Harrison Jr. can improve his game, or even if he just does what he does now, to be honest with you, it'll be enough as long as Wilson and Trey do what they're doing right now. Period. End of story. That duo on the receiving core, this isn't a 2-game blip. This duo can do it. And it's fun to watch.
Well,
it's fun to watch in person.
the thing you
they get
look
open.
at,
They get open, Dale.
they get open, and Jacoby Brissett. Well, I was thinking of Jacoby Myers, and I knew that didn't
Just call
sound
him
right.
Just call him Jacoby, because there is a
Okay.
Jacoby Myers.
Okay. Obviously has confidence in them, but here's the thing you find out, and I've told this story before, but we had Michael Irvin and a guy named Alvin Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Alvin Harper was the perfect number 2. Made acrobatic catches, made huge catches, but just never got the double teams and all that. And then Jacksonville signed him to be the number 1.
It was Jacksonville? I
Yeah.
thought it was Tampa. But okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it might have been.
Yeah,
It
it was,
one of the
I
two.
think it was one of the Florida
It
teams.
was one of the two.
I don't think Jacksonville was around back then, so it had been Tampa.
That far. It might
It
have been
was Tampa because they wore the cream. I remember seeing him in the
Okay.
creamsicle uniforms. Yeah,
And they signed him to be the number 1, and he flamed out.
yeah.
There's some people that just aren't built to be the number 1 guy. Now, maybe they can find something to where all of a sudden you go, you know what?
It was Tampa.
He's a perfect number 2.
Exactly. Now that's insulting to your 4th-round pick. There's no doubt about it. But that's kind of what I'm going to here. I would like to see Wilson be your 1, Trey obviously be himself there, so that's your 1 and 2, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. take some of that pressure off on the other side. These defenses are going to have a choice on who they're going to double team. And if you were the other team, you're gonna double team Wilson at this point. You're gonna fade your safety out in your coverage over to Wilson's side, which maybe will open Marvin Harrison up on the other side to do and look like he's supposed to look. That's your game plan going forward. Now I know that here. You guys instinctively know it at home. I'm not sure Jonathan Gannon can figure it out, and Drew Penzian can figure it out. We should all write letters to him and tell him what we should see. How long does it take to come back from a actodectomy? I knew when they said he was out 1 week, I was like, there's no freaking way. He's out 2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
Because that's such an invasive surgery. 1, you got to heal from it because you can't get hit in the stomach with an exposed wound. So that's got to heal. But 2, I've never had it, but I'm sure you're fatigued. You've lost your conditioning. You've lost a lot of stuff after an invasive surgery. Like you had an organ taken out of you. That's not something that you come back and you're able to go run on a football field 2 weeks, 3 weeks later.
Or take a hit. Or
That's just the conditioning is what I was thinking.
I had heard that this
It's gotta
is
be a
week
month, right?
possibly come back.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, well, whether that's are you if it's iffy at all, are you coming back to a 3-win team? Playing out the
Here's the
season?
other side. If you're Marvin Harrison Jr., if you have any competitive spirit, you're doing your best to get back out there because you got somebody taking your job right now. He's not stupid. He's on the sideline. He sees what Wilson's doing out there better than Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't looked that good, period, at all during the season. So that is one positive I'm taking out of this. If Marvin Harrison Jr. comes back and he's the expected number 1, it's going to show you this coaching staff has zero clue. Zero clue what they're doing. Zero clue. That's what it's going to show you. There's no way he can come back and be expected to be the number 1. With the way that those two are. Yeah, there were plays yesterday that Wilson just effortlessly wide open. And Jacoby just easily throws the ball to him. I haven't seen Marvin Harrison Jr. do that once, I don't think, unless it was a broken play with Kyler Murray. I don't think I've seen him that wide open ever in my life. It was amazing to watch yesterday.
Now tell me this is so it's got to be almost time for that window to open for Kyler Murray to be eligible to come back, isn't it?
Yeah, that was that game 2 or game 3? That was game 3, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He ain't coming back. Writing's on the wall. I'll put it. I'll go a step farther with it as well.
You think he's played his last game as a Cardinal?
I do. I felt that when they put him on IR. I thought that was
Really?
it. And I'll put it this way. I, without reporting anything, firmly believe Kyler's camp is doing all of the side on this stuff. They're telling the Cardinals he ain't coming back.
Who do they think is going to want him?
I don't. I've told you all along. Unless the only way a trade is happening for Kyler in that contract is if a team like Cleveland wants him really badly, and they find out he doesn't want to go there. Like, he's not going to sign with you if he gets cut. So they're going to have to make a trade to get him to go there. Right? Because I don't see Kyler playing in a cold weather city. Do you? I don't. I think that would be the worst place for him to go.
But
So that's the only way you're going to see a team panic and make a trade for him with that contract is he's not going to come here as a free agent, so we better go get him as a trade. That's the only way a trade's happening. Your Cardinals are going to have to cut him and move on. Now, if you were a team, would you take a chance on a Kyler Murray if you could give him a league minimum contract because the Cardinals are paying him the rest of it with his guaranteed money? Or, you could get him for a reduced amount on that? Absolutely, I'd take a chance on a guy like that if I needed a quarterback. Absolutely, you would, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of teams that need that, right? Jets need that. I can go Pittsburgh needs that. You can name a bunch of teams that need a quarterback, and you take a chance. You're not going to take a chance on them at $40 million a year, but you'll take a chance on them at 22, right? A year, something to that effect,
right,
or less. That's the way I look at it. Well, we're going to find out if they don't designate him for return. If the injury that they floated to the national people, that's a 4 to 8 week injury, and we're week 8 already. If they don't designate him for a return, well, that's the other thing. You can designate him for a return, and then you got 3 weeks to let him sit out on top of it. So do you time this to where his return is the final game of the season?
Wow.
He gets to come back to play the Rams in the final game of the season.
Yeah,
on the road.
No, thank you.
Yeah, his team ain't letting him do that. Yeah, so there we go. So let's take our break here. Come on back, of course. Lots of NFL talk, college football, ASU, U of A this week. Woo! 2 8-win teams, baby. Battling it out.
Wildcats going to 9-3.
And yeah, here's my favorite part about that. I'll just say it here right now. Brett Brennan, with their schedule this year, is making everybody think he's the guy for Arizona. Enjoy your 3-win season next year when you have a tougher schedule. He is not the coach for you. But they're making it to where they can't get rid of him. They're going to be stuck with him for a couple more years, and I kind of love it. Come on back, folks. The main event. I know we're kind of mishmashing there between the high school games, college, pros and all that, but I think there's a wide opening correlation here between coaching styles and how they're working and who's winning and who's not. I mean, Wilcox's head coach, I was really impressed with the way he handled his team in that scenario as well. Santan Charter, The coaches are a little on the cocky side. I don't have a problem with that, but their teams are disciplined and, they're going to do well here for the next couple years as well, being sophomores. So you can just see this correlation. Even in losses, you can come away impressed with some coach staff. I really like Liam Cohen yesterday. Seeing him in person, I've liked him all year long. I don't know the guy from a hole in the wall with Tampa, but I just got a vibe with him where he carries himself right and the way he acts on the sideline. And it was amazing to watch him. He would be talking to the officials. He'd be talking to his players. And then there's Jonathan Gannon. I don't get it, man.
Well, you fined him $100,000 for getting excited.
I'm calling. You don't have to be excited. Talk to somebody. Say something. I call him the statue now. I've nicknamed him officially the statue.
I mean, he shows some emotion. $100,000. So
don't hit people.
If I just stand here, then it's not going to cost me any money.
You got to lobby the refs. You got to yell at the refs from time to time. You got to tell the refs what pieces of garbage they are. And you hope they choke on turkey or on Thanksgiving. Every once in a while, you just got to have conversations with people to lobby him. And there's Jonathan. Here's my other thing that drives me nuts. He stands. So like all the teams down on the other side of the field, and he stands on the opposite end.
Well, would you want to be a part of that team? I'm not the coach of this team.
He's like, I got to defend this again.
You know what's funny that you mentioned that because I met Kevin Ray out, the Suns announcer on Saturday, a couple other buddies, and we were talking about the Suns coach. They just won
Jordan Knott.
Yeah, they won the game on Friday night. Obviously, they won last night.
And he's got a front row seat to that. Yeah.
And he said, what's so fascinating about Ott is the fact that he will bitch and moan a little bit, but it's in a conversational mode. It's like the officials don't get bothered by he's getting his point across about, hey, whatever is happening.
He's not doing the Bobby Hurley.
Yes, he's not doing the histrionics.
You're not berating that.
Yes, but he's getting his point across.
I agree. Yeah.
And just like I think you, just like me, just like almost anybody, I'm going to take you criticize me a lot better.
Yeah.
If it's just, hey, I really think that you're missing something down there on low block and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people that, I was on the radio, a lot of people would come after me and stuff like that. And I was always more impressed with the people that would say something and I'd be like, I get it. You're right, probably. Right. You're like, and then later on you're like, hey, wait a minute. It's insulting.
Rather than the
guy that's like, you're a stupid moron, you idiot. And it's just, but you have to talk to officials and lobby them, and you have to, and he doesn't do it. I'm sure he does it at times. You just don't notice it. He's not like the other coaches.
You don't see it as much in football as you do in basketball.
No, but when a ref makes a bad call, ear things are off and they're yelling in the middle, and then the side judge that stands next to the coaches, poor guy, comes to the sideline. I always feel sorry for those refs. Yeah. Comes to the sideline and the coach is lighting him up about what a terrible call it is. Show me one video of Jonathan Gannon doing that. Find me one and send it to me, because I haven't seen one yet. I'm not saying maybe he does it from time to time, but show me one. Liam Cohen was up and down that sideway, yelling at his team, clapping. Good job, guys. And just John, the statue, and it's just like, oh, what are we doing? It drives me nuts, man. It drives me nuts from that side. There. Right. Other thing I wanted to say here in this first hour, I'm amazed in the high school football. Like we talk about, right? Chip Kelly got fired today, and Chip Kelly had a $3 million contract, highest paid offensive coordinator. Like I said, Shaw and Giants land to the DC, another fourth quarter give up for them. He's done after this year anyway, so who cares? Let him go, ceremoniously let him go because of their meltdowns in the fourth quarter. But with Daboll leaving, he's obviously probably out of a job regardless. But you make that move and stuff to that effect. The amount of 1-year high school coaches that are leaving their job, even 2 years. Your Saguaro coach, who came in with a ton of fanfare, out after 2 years. Apache Junction, I know these are lower end schools, but Apache Junction, 1 year that coach is out. Desert Ridge, 1 year that coach is out. Whether it's their choice or the school's choice, you can go across this valley in a whole state of Arizona, the amount of 1-year head coaches that are out. You
One
can't-
slash two, yeah.
How do you build a program with 1 year and out coaches? And it's happening everywhere right now. And like I said, I don't know a lot of them. I don't know if they're coaches just like this isn't for me, or what it is. Like I question on Deseridge, is it that athletic director and his attitude kind of doing that? But Deseridge has bigger problems. They have an ALA school about to open right down the road from them, 2 miles closer to my house. And these ALA schools are being built differently. They're different. And Deseridge is landlocked. Maybe that had something to do with it. Did it have to do with the AD's attitude? Because there are other programs that are Deseridge that don't like him, right? And have struggled working with him. Right? We talked about that here. But it's not just those schools. It's just there's a lot of 1 years. Hey, we hired this guy, boom, out. What does that do for the kids?
Well, it does nothing for the kids, and it's like a 5-pronged thing. Number one, sometimes some of these schools, like at a Saguaro, there's unrealistic expectations.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
you've still got to win more than 4 games in 2 years.
But when you lose 60 guys out of your
I
program
don't
2
disagree.
years ago,
Yeah.
there's also has to temper down
I
enthusiasm.
agree. And they're not. And Saguaro's a school that's not going to tamper. They live for those old
Yes,
days.
you got, but you have to have some patience. Number two,
Yeah.
a lot of these
You
programs.
got to give him some extra time, right?
Yes,
And
because of what happened.
And he brought in some. Now he lost one of them late in the year, right? What's his name went to UCLA to help out.
Mazzoni. No,
Mazzoni.
Mazzoni, yeah.
But I mean, he came in with some high-powered coaching guys, and they still couldn't get it done there.
Here's another thing. You get into it, and there's some schools that they have great booster clubs, and there's
Yeah.
ways for you to make more
Extra
money.
money.
But you're getting paid about a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 stipend to put up with the nonsense that the parents who, like, say again, we're using Saguaro as an example.
Yeah.
They won 10 state championships in a row, and they're this, that, and that.
Yeah.
But they're not that anymore.
No, and they petitioned to move down to
Yes.
5A, and the AIA said no.
Yep.
They can't compete in that 6A level right now.
Yes.
So, but I mean,
it's-
in the Desert Ridge side, because I'm intimately known with that. I mean, the parents' expectations are let's just get out there and play hard, and let's
Right.
be in these games. Getting blown out 50-0 every game, stuff like that. You're gonna have upset parents. Nobody wants their kid
Nobody
to suffer
wants,
like that.
especially at a respected type of program like Desert Ridge.
They were
that's had
great.
Success.
They were great until 2020 when that coach left. Who's now
Jeremy
at Mesa.
Hathcock.
Yes, they were great until 2020.
Yeah.
You need this is my problem though. You need coaches. I know you said there's 5 prongs. You said 2. You need a coach that can go to Desert Ridge, Apache Junction, and those types of schools that has the personality, has the time to make kids want to go there. That's the same problem with Saguaro right now. Those 60 kids left. They didn't leave because of the coach.
No.
They left because of administration, the principal sending
Yes.
an email complaining about music that was being played and pissed everybody off.
Yes.
And you've got to have a system from principal. And the principal at Desert Ridge seems like a good person. I've seen some of the emails and interactions with parents. Seems like a good person. So I don't think it goes that high. But you need a coach in these schools that are like this, and Saguaro especially, one where they have time, but you have to make the kids want to go there and not go down the road to the ALA or Queen Creek High School
Right.
or ALA Queen Creek and that stuff. Because that's not that far of a ride to go out there.
And kids have choices now.
Yes.
And,
So, yeah. Finish your
you know.
other prongs as well. But I don't understand why they're hiring wrong guys if that's the case.
Well, and a lot of times you don't know if you're hiring the
Yeah.
right
Well,
guy.
I have zero, and like I said, this is a knock on the Desert Ridge coach. I actually liked him. Other than rolling your left-handed quarterback out to your right repeatedly, that drove me nuts. Other than that, I can't understand why you want to do that. But he came from Castile, and there were some issues at Castile at the end of that tenure there. He was a defensive coordinator, if I remember right. And then there's Castile head coach ended up at Dobson, and he struggled this year a little
Right.
bit as well. And now Dobson has the same issue, but I thought he was a good coach. His temper was great. It wasn't like the previous regime where I watched him yell at kids on the sideline violently, and I was like,
Right.
I don't know about that, coach. I thought they handled everything great, which tells me it's either they don't think they can build there and they have other opportunities, or there's just a personality clash with somebody above them, and it's a big part of it. I've learned that about high school. At first, you're just like, oh, it's just a coach struggling. If you don't have the support of your principal and your athletic director,
No doubt
you have
about
no
it.
chance, especially in schools like that.
And if you have a parent base that is used to winning and things
I don't
like
think
that?
that's the case at Desert Ridge because they've been back for 6 years now, roughly.
Okay.
I've never heard anybody at Desert Ridge be like, "Oh, we're the state championship." It's like all those parents, kids are gone,
Gone.
moved on.
Yeah.
Most of them there. Most people are actually shocked when I tell them Desert Ridge was good until about 2019. Like people are like, "Wait, what?" But they've been so bad since.
Right. Well,
And
that's the
Hathcock,
thing.
Hathcock is a different coach.
Yeah.
You know,
And he's now at Mesa.
yeah, and he went up north. And
He
then
went
to
up
Mesa.
north.
That's a coach that can get kids to go there.
Right.
And those are the coaches you need to hire. It's like I said, it's not a knock on him. Not a first-year head coach. Not a guy like that. You need to go out and get an experienced guy to come in that has a name behind him, and the kids go, "I want to go play for that guy."
Yes,
That's what
but
you need.
so what you're basically talking about is you want a college type coach, but you want to pay him $7,500 rather than because you're putting it if you're
Well,
the
that's the
head
problem.
coach,
Yeah.
you're putting in a ton of time.
Yeah, more time than you guys even know.
Yes, and it's
Like
not just
Mike, substitutes at SCA, but if you don't know, he's there during the day. He's not even he's not even a teacher there,
no.
and he's there during the day dealing with booster stuff, parent stuff, kid stuff on the
Watching
team.
film, yeah,
Yes, yeah.
all
a lot
that
of other stuff
Yep.
out there.
Come-
It is shocking to me the 1 year and dones in high school.
Yeah.
And they got to figure this out.
Because the turnover in Arizona high school football coach, and I think the
It's
other
gotten
thing,
worse.
another prong to this is there's more and more pressure to win.
Yes.
More and more expectations. So hey, you're trying to build a program, but you go 3-7 your first year.
Yeah.
They're willing to make a change,
Yeah.
and that
Quickly.
doesn't bode well.
Well, you get a new principal in the school because principals move around like candy these
Yeah.
days. And that principal's like, "I want my guy in here. I know a guy that can come in here and do this." And stuff like that. It's fascinating. But, I mean, I look at it this way. What are we doing to these kids? Because I'll tell you right now, all throughout this year, I heard parents openly talking about at Desert Ridge, their kids transferring next year. Early in the season, throughout the season. Oh, we're looking at Queen Creek right now. We're looking at Queen Creek High School. And I'm like, you guys are openly talking? I was shocked. You're openly talking about this in the stands?
right.
What? It's game 3? It's just, you need to find those coaches out there. But then at the same time, you got to find some deal. Because it's about winning, yes. But at this level, it's also about the kids. And now with this coach leaving, a couple of parents I've seen some emails and texts and stuff like that where a few parents are like, now we got to decide what we're going to do with our kid now. So now the kids are looking to, okay, what school should we go to?
Right.
Red Mountain's being looked at because that's not too far from Desert Ridge, 10 minutes up the road. So now these kids are like, another coach is gone. All right, this whole department. It was explained to me as this sports side of Desert Ridge is a mess, is how it was phrased. When I was looking into it and stuff to that. And they're not the only one that's this way. I'm using Desert Ridge because I'm intimately familiar with that, and
Right.
I see some inside workings on that and things like that. But it's valley wide. I have no doubt about it. And you got to figure that out because one, you're taking the focus off the kids. What about the kid that just wants to play football at high school, and he has a new coach every year and has to deal with all that drama and everything, and he just wants to play football, get through his high school years, and then move on with his life. Those are the kids being let down by these coaching changes.
There's
one
no
and done.
doubt about that. And then when you start talking about transferring, now all of a sudden you're talking about picking up and leaving friends, going
Yes.
to a new school. You have to sit out half
5
a year.
games. What year are you? Are you
Yeah,
going to miss
yeah.
half your senior year?
Yeah, all those things, and
Yeah.
it's
And it's all because of all those points you were talking about. And I think high school football has forgotten about the common kid. Yeah, the Tates, right, that are going to Clemson, and he's on his way now. And I understand he's already there, Dale. He's already there. He said he told the school that he's going to be there this week, getting settled there in Clemson and everything for after this semester. You're always going to have those kids, and they're going to find their way.
right.
But half of that Queen Creek team, I know of the family of a senior on that team. He's done playing football now. He just wanted to play football in high school. He'd like to move on, but doesn't know if he wants to play lower level, whatever. And it's just that's the kid that gets screwed with all these coaching changes. And Queen Creek has had a coach forever. That's a different story. But those are the kids that are being screwed by these 1 years and done deals. else. And that's the sad part.
Well, what's fascinating, and we can get into this later. I know we should probably break.
Yeah,
It's top of the hour, but
me and my rants.
I saw your boy Richard Obert threw out a couple names for the Saguaro job.
That cracked me up on that. I texted my screen as soon as that came out. I screenshot and I texted Mike.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, something you need to tell me. He's going to be named in every job opening, especially now that he's in his third, win or lose.
Yeah.
He's going to be named in every school. We're talking about Mike Sheehan, of
Bigger
course.
schools, yeah.
You know, it's going to happen. It just media people are going to throw his name out there to put it in there because of what he's done. And I was thinking about that over the weekend. That's a big step up, man.
Well, it's a big step up, and you kind of built your niche at SCA. Your kids go there.
Well, that's the side that people don't know. Mike's tied to SCA.
Yes.
But I'll put it this way. SCA comes to an end at some point, doesn't it?
Oh, it will come. You think it will come to an end.
You don't generally stick around for 30 years is what I'm getting at.
Well, the basketball coach did. But the second thing is, you feel pretty comfortable there.
Yes.
All of a sudden, you go to a Saguaro.
Yeah, which is.
And again, those expectations creep up on you. And it's not like
I don't think they creep up on you at Saguaro. I think they hit you in the face at Saguaro.
It's not like you are coaching at ACU and NAU offers you a job, and so you're now making $350,000 instead of $75,000.
It's worth getting fired going to NAU, right?
It's not a 5-year deal or whatever. It's hey, you're going to probably make a little bit more, but not a whole lot.
That's where you go. I tried it, didn't work out. Made some money. Now I'm going to go back to what I'm comfortable with, type of a thing, right? Well, let's take our top of the hour break here. We're late, and of course, college football, NFL is going to be on most of our talk today on the short week. We're here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Lou on Wednesday, Bruce tomorrow. There will be heavy Suns tomorrow, heavy Cardinals, heavy Sun Devils as well.
Do we have to talk to Cardinals?
The big bad. Well, we got to talk about the coaching staff because I'm done with them. It's every game. It's worse and worse and worse. And we'll talk about why. I got some perfect example. And I think about it differently than what other people have talked about already about the end of that game yesterday.
Where's my boy Clayton? Oh, he's in Dallas, coming back against Philadelphia.
Come on back, guys. The main event.
Not lengthen our breaks.
I haven't done it yet.
Jeez Louise.
I was going to do it today,
No,
but I
weren't.
have to get. I was going to do this graphic on the schedule for the week on guests and everything, and I don't know when Mike's coming on yet, so I couldn't do it.
Having too much fun going to all the games, and
It was a busy weekend.
Yeah.
I got a new washer at my house. That was, folks. If you have an upstairs laundry room, pay the $75 for people to deliver it. We made a huge mistake. Me, Ethan, and Autumn's kid Thomas trying to get that old one downstairs, and I was dealing with the ankle problem. I went to the urgent care and had to get the steroid shot to make it feel better. So I was feeling that steroid effect there at one point. Get the old one down the stairs, the new one up. It was just, it was a chore on Saturday. It was quite the day. And, of course, second hour main event right now. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum. And Dale Hillestray, 17-year NFL veteran. If you don't know which one was the NFL player, it was that guy, if you're just wondering.
Yeah, if you just look, you don't know.
And does chime in at TME Sports Show. You can text us to 623-252-6670 at TME Sports Show as well. It says, I really appreciate the high school football talk. With my son headed that direction next year, he has told me that several kids that go to the feeder junior high there for Desert Ridge, they said they were not going there due to the football program as they want to be successful. Yeah. And I don't disagree. And she's in that feeder program, and is her kids went to the school Autumn teaches at, and Autumn's taught her kids and everything and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the hard part. And when you're getting beat by 50 points every game and blown out, they were competitive. They were more competitive last year than they were this year. And you got to get the right coach in there to make these kids want to go there. It's just so easy right now especially out there. There's literally 5 high schools within 5 miles of it.
And if there's another one coming in there, and those ALAs are obviously becoming competitive.
ALA Radiance is going to be a nice one there. Yeah, well, it's just the name of the community.
Oh.
It's technically in Apache Junction. It's like right across the street from me, so I'm in Mesa. It's technically Apache Junction over there and everything, but I have no doubt about it. After seeing North Mesa on Saturday night, and I've seen a lot of ALA, like Queen Creek's older, so
right.
It's not as big. But they're building these schools nice. They're building them good. The programs are to be successful. Joe Germain's a coach at one of them. They hired good coaches to go up there. The coach at ALA Queen Creek's a little bit of a curmudgeon, right? But he's been there a while, and he has success up there. That's the one where the quarterback, Max Hall, is no longer at this year. And they do it right, so you're getting more competition against it. That's where it's more important, the hire that comes in and does it right? So, but that's a perfect example. That's a parent whose kid's going to that school and wants to play football. Yeah, you don't want to go get your brains beat in 50-0 in high school.
And remember, coming when you go from it, does Mesa still have junior highs?
Junior highs are so they go to Desert Ridge Junior High is on the campus with the high school.
And so you ninth grade, you're in junior high still.
Yes, still, yeah.
Okay.
Like Dobson, you have a different junior high you go to, and then you go to Dobson.
Like in Scottsdale, the junior highs are 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah, Queen Creek, the junior highs are on the high. There's still 7th and 8th grade and 9th grade, but the junior highs are on the high school.
But there's
campus.
no 9th grade in Scottsdale is a difference.
Oh yeah, but I mean the junior highs and the high schools are the same. Like Eastmark, Chrisman High School, Queen Creek's different. They do have a separate junior high still.
Okay.
But Eastmark and Chrisman, for instance, their junior high is on the campus of high school. So you might have a junior high class, but you might have to go to the high school side of the campus to have a class or something to that, So.
But it is open enrollment, so when you make your first decision on a high school, you can go anywhere. You can live out in Mesa and say, I want to go to Centennial if you want to.
I know a kid that lives, I was told of it. I don't know him, but I was told of a kid that lives clear out like in the mountains of Apache Junction that goes to Desert Ridge every day. It's like a 15-mile hike to get to school every morning. That the open enrollment allows them to do that and stuff to that effect, So, it's just a different time in high school, and they got to figure this out. And like I said, it's the star kids like Bassett kids and stuff like that. They're going to find their way. But what about all the kids that, like I said, they know they're not going anywhere. They just want to play football. Those are the kids you're letting down by letting this stuff happen with one-and-done coaches and stuff like that. Robert says, being as old as I am, I learned a while ago, stairs are not your friend, especially with a giant washer you're trying to get downstairs. That's broken. So all the water's in it still.
Whoa.
It was terrible, man. It was terrible. But we got it done.
You didn't pay the extra $50?
Well, they couldn't deliver it for several days, and I've been without a washer for about a week.
Ooh.
And I was dangerous. And Autumn's like, just come to my house and use the washer. And I'm like, yeah, but then I'm trekking clothes back and forth. I just need to go buy one. You just need to. And then that became a chore. I got my heart set on one model and everything, and then Lowe's didn't have it in stock. So then I was like, crap. So I had to go back and look again. I found it at Spencer's, and it was actually $100 cheaper at Spencer's. So it worked out for me. But that was a chore on Saturday morning. It's just that stuff sucks. My washer, by the way, I bought it when I moved into that house in January of 2007, and it just died on me this week. That's an 18-year-old washer, man. Almost 19-year-old.
Yeah,
washer.
you've got plenty of use out
Yeah,
of
that's what
it.
I mean. Oh no, it's the dryer's still running miraculously, so I kept that. Yeah, so it's an amazing. I can't complain because if I have to put a new washer in once every 17 years, I've done all right with myself. No doubt about it. All right, let's get the Cardinals out of the way here, Dale.
Oh, your Cardinals.
Okay. Just keep this in this part of this conversation. Chip Kelly fired because the Raiders' offense is horrendous garbage. They have an offensive line problem worse than the Cardinals do, believe it or not. Their offense is terrible because of their offensive line.
By the way, I just looked at that article.
Yeah, which one? The Chip Kelly one?
About Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Do you know how much he's making?
$3 million. Or did they get a raise of $3 million?
An annual salary of $6 million.
Okay, so he had a $3 million. So they just signed him in the offseason.
Yeah.
I thought they gave him $3 million. So he had an additional $3 million in the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league. I know that. Yeah. And
Whoa.
so a 3-year deal they're eating. That's $18 million for an assistant.
Yeah, he didn't seem really upset about leaving.
No. He actually goes, did you see him? He goes, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. we have to win. I'm gonna go vacation.
I also don't think Chip Kelly's offense works in the pros. He's like the head coach there of now he's back to Rutgers. His offense his style doesn't work in the NFL. I'm forgetting his name right now. Chip Kelly's offense just doesn't work in the NFL. Never has, never will. It's just a contrasting style of things. But then the Giants fired their DC today as well. Just keep that in mind here as we go through this we go.
So you're saying, as a precursor, you're saying that teams that have been struggling, they're not afraid to make a change.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious,
Okay.
right? Just if you're look, Raiders didn't have huge expectations going into the season. Not like the Cardinals did.
Right.
And the Chiefs, you hear Patrick Mahomes kind of take a shot at Andy Reid over the weekend, talking about who they played, they beat Colts. And they were talking about Patrick Mahomes was talking about the Colts defensive coordinator. At the end, he goes, he's not afraid to make changes from game to game. He doesn't make the same play calls all the time. And everybody's like, that's a shot at Andy Reid. It's a shot at Andy Reid. It's just, you could see the successful teams have a dynamic that teams that are struggling do not. And it's pretty obvious if you're paying attention to it on that side, right? So we're going to focus. There's a lot to talk about on this game. Not just the offensive line. We've talked about that a lot, Dale. They're just struggling this year. It got worse when Will Hernandez went out yesterday with his knee injury or whatever his injury was. I forget with him. It got worse at that point. This offense can move the ball up and down the field. This is what's frustrating about it. But they can't score very often. That's where you get frustrated. You watch them and you're like, look at this offense go. And then they'll suck for a little bit. And then they'll get moving up and down the field again and move the ball and everything will look great again. And to me, that comes down to play calling and choices and stuff to that effect. Like early in the game yesterday, we're talking like first couple drives. Jacoby Brissett, 3 steps, ball out. 3 steps, balls out. 3 steps, balls out. All the first couple drives. Then Jacoby Brissett starts getting hit when Will Hernandez goes out in the second half. All of a sudden, it's 5-set drops and looking deep down the field. And I put out on Twitter, where are the short throws again? Where'd they go? And Drew Petry's like, oh, we're going to keep throwing it 15 yards down the field and let Jacoby get the snot kicked out of him. To the point where you almost lost him at one point because he had to run for his life along the sideline, right? So we could talk about that. We could talk about special teams. Yes, their new punter from ASU there, Hawk. I call him Hack, but it's Hawk. Did a great job punting. He was pinning them deep there early in the game, and so they fixed that, but kickoffs continue to be a problem on the returns, things to that. There's a lot of bad that we've talked about before. And you can put that on the players. You can put that on the injuries, on special teams. I do think there's an argument, Dale, and you being a special teamer, I do think there's an argument with the amount of guys that are having to step up and play because of injuries. Your special teams will suffer because you have guys moving out of that rotation, practice squad guys coming up and taking their spots, or they're just dang tired because they're playing a lot more in a game. Is that a real thing that I believe happens, or am I making that up?
It could be. Although I will tell you, when we were at our best in Dallas, Darren Woodson was on the field for every defensive snap. He's also on the punt team. And he's also on the kickoff return team.
Yeah, those days are gone.
So there, and that was the big thing that Jimmy Johnson through Joe Avisano made very clear, is that special teams were important.
Yeah.
The entire team watched special teams film.
Yeah.
Starters played on special teams.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you treat it as we're offense, defense, then there's
I think that's what the Cardinals do, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying you should take a huge step backwards, but I'm saying you probably will have a step back a little bit, especially if you're not, if all of a sudden you're just a special teamer, and then you're like, I got to play safety too. Then I can understand you getting thrown into that. Like late in the game, you're like, oh, and then you're a little late on your coverage, and a guy gets by you and runs down the sideline, type of a deal. But I mean, I agree with you. There's no excuse on how bad it's gone backwards, right? Type of a thing. So, but I'm gonna point this out here because yes, the players have culpability, is what I'm trying to say. It's not all on the coaching staff. Players still have to make their decisions. I find it hard to believe the offensive line with Clayton Adams going to Dallas. I find it hard to believe that all of a sudden they've forgotten how to block. They've forgotten their technique. Because I agree with you. And you're way more an expert at offensive line play than I am. I'm not as stellar at it. But I notice just small things. Like I don't notice where their heads are at. I look for that because you talk about it. But just their footwork. The defensive guy gets them all jarbled to where they look like they're on skates. And that's just bad footwork.
Well,
you can't go from good footwork last year and then this year be like, oh, my footwork's going to suck this year.
What I noticed a little bit yesterday, and to me, playing offensive line is very difficult, but yet at its core, it's simple.
Okay.
If you put your head in the right spot, 95% of the time, you're going to be somewhat successful at your block.
Is that because your body's in the right spot?
Your body's in the right spot, your head's in the right spot, and then everything kind of follows. Your feet follow that. If you don't put your head in the right spot, which I saw once or twice yesterday with Kelvin Beachum, who's a veteran guy, where the ball's running left, and he hits the defensive end in the middle. So now he just comes off, and now I either got to grab him or hold him, or he makes the tackle. When all you have to do, the snap count, get your head inside. If you make the dude run around you,
he's a second or two late.
Yes.
So
that's he still makes the tackle, and that means that the running back is dancing around too much, whatever.
And that's what I'm getting at. I saw Kelvin Beachum. I call him missed blocks, but kind of what you're talking about there. Kelvin Beachum didn't forget how to block this year. They're either being coached this way or this coaching staff or these linemen have just all of a sudden forgotten how to block. I think, are they being coached this way? Are they being coached incorrectly? Is kind of my question. Because Kelvin Beachum hasn't been this bad in his career. You don't just wake up one day and go, yeah, I forgot how to block all of a sudden.
You might slow down. You might not be as strong, whatever, but your technique should still be there.
That's what my argument is. And it's just like I watched it with not just him, but I mean even Paris Johnson a couple times yesterday. Again, another penalty on him that shouldn't have been a penalty. That was just a clean block yesterday. These refs need to figure out, hey, just because the guy falls down doesn't mean it's a penalty, guys.
Right.
But it's just the technique side. And that's where I'm talking more on like the coaching. It's just like, I don't know if there's an attention to detail here with this coaching staff. And you see it. Special teams. You see it with the lineman blocking. You see it with the defense a little bit as well. Like I said, the defense, I'm looking it up now. I believe it was fourth quarter. Cardinals. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. It was the fourth quarter because the Cardinals go down and score to make it 24-21. Yeah. Take the lead, 21-17, excuse me. And then they allow the Jaguars to drive down the field with relative ease. That's not the players all of a sudden going, oh, we've got the lead. We're going to stop rushing the quarterback. We're going to stop covering the defenders. That's the coaching staff sending in plays and the players working off of the plays to where they're so easy for them to come down the field. Then you get down right to the final regular season, the regular season play before they have to kick the field goal.
Regular time.
Regular time, fourth quarter here, right? So they need a field goal to tie it. Touchdown wins it for the Cardinals. Very few seconds left. And they complete that long pass play down the field, right, to Wilson, who then spins the ball. And everybody's losing their mind about him spinning the ball, which I agree. You don't spin the ball in that moment. You hand it to the ref. But it didn't matter. I watched this team slowly jog down the field. Just slowly, just do-do-do, do-do-do, to the point where Wilson was able to pick up his spun ball, give it to the ref. Ref was to go over and spot it, and there's still a couple guys, do-do-do, do-do-do. They weren't even close to being lined up when the ball was set, even after the spin. Mm-hmm. The spin didn't matter. If you're on Twitter complaining that he spun the ball, you weren't paying attention to what else was happening out there. They were lollygagging down the field, Dale, in a moment where you could have spiked the ball there and got 2 plays off if you hurry just a little bit faster.
Yep. And instead of going for the tie, go for the win.
And so Jonathan Gannon, so if you don't know what play we're talking about, here it is. This is the end of reg play is the one here, Kobe. Let's play this. If you didn't see it, this is what I'm talking about here.
Great play, great
look
route.
At that, I'll even say,
concept.
Look at that play call.
Yep, great concept.
So he spins it, realizes it, goes and gets it. Now you don't get the full effect that I saw in the stadium. But look at this. He's got the ball back to, look at this. Look at this. And look at him stand around here.
As the clock is running.
They got there with 19 seconds. Look at it. Even now, 6 seconds before they snap that ball to go for it. Now, Jonathan Gannon, so just wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gannon, after the game, said, well, I'd rather go for one play and then kick the field goal because then the defense is all discombobulated. But so is the offense. But what Jonathan Gannon's failing to mention in that is we just showed you. Kobe, play it again for me as we'll talk about it again here. Keep the sound down on it. Okay, look at this. 32 seconds, ball thrown, caught. 30 seconds. 30 seconds is when he's down.
Realizes, hey.
Yep.
Okay.
Look at this. We're at 20 seconds now, and the Cardinals are just making it to the line of scrimmage.
And they're still not lined up. The ball's down.
They're discussing everything. We're at 12 now. They're lined up. He's got to do his cadence, make sure everybody's set. That ball snapped at 10. That's 20 seconds wasted. 20. You could have shaved 5 seconds off that, spiked it, had 2 play. Jonathan Gannon didn't talk about that aspect of that play. I actually agree with him with the way it went down. You take the quick shot and see if you can convert on it. So kind of surprise him a little bit. But you didn't have to come to that. You could have had plenty of time for 2 snaps on that play.
And we used to hate it, but every Thursday we'd run 2-minute drills. And you complete a long pass like that, number one, your lineman got to go. Because that's about 35, 40 yard completion.
I think it was a 42-yard completion. If I remember
so
right.
that's a sprint for your boys.
31 yards.
Yeah, 30 yards. But you do that in practice, so it becomes a habit. Boom, you're up there. And now, if you're up and lined up, and Michael Wilson is flipping the ball, now we can get on.
The spin of the ball had nothing to do. The people on the social medias, and if you're complaining about the spin of that ball, had zero to do with that play being lined up and the time off that clock. No. Zero. It meant
he
nothing.
Got the ball back to the official, got it set up, and you still weren't ready to
and guys were still standing around looking for the play call.
Yeah. And it's a first down. So it wasn't like it's third down, I'm going to spike it.
And if you're going to spike it, you're yelling spike the whole way down the field. Yeah. But you saw them. They lined up. They wasted 5 seconds getting the play call out there to everybody.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what? That Jonathan Gannon's not talking about that aspect of it. He's just focusing on and trying to make that's bad coaching. It's like they didn't know what to do in that situation, Dale. That's what's frustrating about it. Now they kicked the field goal and forced overtime, which is surprising enough. Because, I mean, remember, they went for it on 4th down and didn't convert on it, right for the 2-minute warning and gave Jacksonville the ball. And Jacksonville just fell flat on their face on that drive and allowed the Cardinals to end it. The Cardinals were in this game because Jacksonville
Yeah.
let them stay in this
I mean,
game.
if you're going to go those calls, why is Jacksonville going for it on 4th and 4 when they kick a field goal, go up 6?
Go up 6, and then you're kicking off, which means they have to go the whole length of the field
And score a touchdown.
instead of a field goal. Jacksonville lets you tie that game is basically what we're talking about right now, right? From that perspective. Then it gets worse. So we're just focusing on the end of the game because it's the most important part of the game if you're trying to win it. Like I said, we can go back to earlier in the fourth quarter when the Cardinals scored to go up, and then their defensive play calls was basically a prevent defense and allowed Jacksonville to run down the field and score easily to go down again. Like, why are you not playing competitive defense in that moment? If they go over the top and they score on a big play in it, one, you're going to have more time on the clock to come back from it. But two, at least you're trying to stop them from scoring,
Right.
as opposed to letting them score, basically. At that moment, I was like, this Cardinal staff is just letting them win. Like, there's no competition of this team whatsoever. You have all the momentum. You just took the lead. We can go back to that play. But we're just going to focus on the end ones because it's bigger. I'm going to show you the full final play. Kobe, this is the one that says full final play on it. This is the full play from the broadcast side. 4th and 4, I believe, right? Let me double check the yardage here because I get confused because there was a 4th and 12 before this. And this, it is 4th and 4. Okay. This is the play. Now, you can kick the field goal. It'd be long to tie the game up in overtime, but Jonathan Gannon's right. You're not getting the ball back. There's so much time was down. There's either going to be a tie or you're going to lose this game if you kick the field goal. I have zero issue with going for it here on this play, but it's 4th and 4. 4th and 4 is manageable. Right, Dale?
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to show you the full play here first of what we saw in the stadium and this disgusting play here, in my opinion. The full final play. Here we go, Kobe.
Brissett from the gun. Brissett going to put some air under it. Deep down the field. Incomplete.
Now, a lot of people are knocking that play because they threw it up to Xavier Weaver, who has like 4 catches on the year. And I can understand that. Go to one of your playmakers, right? Kobe, play it again. Can you turn the sound down? Play it again, though, before I get Dale's comments on this. Look underneath this ball here, right here. 4th and 4. Remember this.
Yeah.
Can you stop it, Kobe? I know it's kind of tough. I mean, it's kind of tough. Okay, stop it there. Okay. Right now, the guy in the middle looks like he's covered. But coming off the corner, he was open. You could have slid the ball in there for a first down. Gives you 4 more downs with 4 minutes to go in overtime. 4 more downs to try to score a touchdown and win this game. Instead, you decide to throw it deep on this play with the guy that's one-on-one. He is one-on-one, right? You see him on the right-hand side. There's one-on-one there. But one thing that you're failing to not see, if you were watching this game live on the angle that I had, because it's the opposite end of the field, you don't see the deep safety just waiting for this ball to be thrown.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can let it play, Kobe. Look how fast he gets over there with how long that ball hangs in there. 42 was watching that play from the beginning. 42 was like, I'm going to get there if the ball goes there. No chance of that. I don't care if that was Jerry Rice himself. Nobody's coming down with that ball in that moment, with that throw in that second. So, yes, it's technically man-on-man, but nobody noticed the safety on the other side watching the ball on the backside. Dale, your thoughts on that final play?
Well, again, that seemed like a play that there's less than a minute left in the game. You don't have any timeouts.
5 seconds left, and
you're going to take
have
a
to
shot.
do it. Yeah. 4th
Um,
and 4, 4 minutes to go. You throw it underneath to Dortch, who was coming off the side. Trey Benson was on the line. Yes, there were guys around them. They catch that, though, you get a first down.
How about Trey McBride?
Oh, I'm sorry, McBride is who I meant to say.
How about Trey McBride, your all-world tight end?
5-yard
pick up
curl.
5 yards.
5-yard curl, throw it to them like you've done all game long.
See if they can break that up.
If they break that up, hey, a good effort, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, and what's infuriating after the game, you learn what Jonathan Gannon says that makes me want to puke even more. So that was the full play per the broadcast, right? Here's the final play, kind of closer on the replay, and they kind of show you, the backside of things on why maybe he went deep. So let's look at this here. This is the one labeled final play, Kobe.
Cover coverage.
Well, they get what they want with the safety
Right?
biting down
So
on
safety
the
came up on
underneath route, and
Trey.
they
But look
think
how
that
far
they have
Trey
that
was down the
one-on-one,
field.
but boy,
You needed
how
4
good
yards,
coming
people.
from that backside.
Why is your tight end 15 yards down the
Reading
field,
eyes
Dale?
of Jacoby Brissett coming from the
You had
backside,
Dortch
and now
at the
it's
4 or
just a
5 yard
2-on-1.
line. You could have hit him, and it was a
And
first
Jacksonville
down.
makes
Gives
the
you
key
4 more
play
plays.
to win
And
that
that's all you
football
needed.
game.
Boy, just think that this
4
Jacksonville
minutes.
defense that
It's
knocked
not like
down
there's
2
no
weeks ago
time
against
left on the
Houston,
clock
they
where you
gave
have
up
to
all
get
of
it
those
down there.
points in the fourth quarter.
What are you
The way they
doing?
responded last
You can
week
throw it
against
down,
the
Kobe.
Chargers.
By the way, I forgot
He
your boy was playing for
Gardeck.
Jacksonville.
got a sack. He got a sack early, and I was like, boy, and I think I put it on Twitter. Boy, you need that heart on this team. That was his first sack of the year. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
But he played the whole. He was out there the whole game. He's
Yeah.
getting playing time. Oh my God! I'm just telling you guys the difference between this defensive front. Now you saw it with Walter Nolan in there. Walter Nolan's got a little of that heart in him, man. That little dog in him, in the middle.
Right.
But I'm telling you, man, you went and sold out to high-priced guys and young draft picks that kind of are injured and not working out right now. And you lost that heart and the guys that are just hanging on. They know they have to play hard to get there and all that stuff. And you let them go. I can tell you this, Dennis Gardeck on the field, even when he went into coverage, you noticed him out there.
Because of the hair?
No, he's just there. He's there where the ball is. He's just there, man. It's amazing to watch. So that's the final play of the game. It drives me nuts. After the game, Jonathan Gannon obviously was asked about it in the press conference. Jonathan Gannon was asked about it when he was with, I think it's Paul Calvisi on 98.7 when he does that interview. And he kept doubling down and saying, and I'll play the clip for you in a second, but he keeps doubling down going, we had to go for the win. I wasn't going to go for a tie. Oh, who wants to see a tie? It was 4 minutes left, 4th and 4. You get 5 yards, you get a first down, 4 more plays to go for the end zone. Why give the game up in that moment and go for the win in that moment? Why? Because you're a bad coaching staff and you don't know what you're doing. That's your problem, Dale. I firmly believe that 100%. Jonathan Gannon on the final play in his press conference. Let's play this.
Oh, yeah, they played double-double. So he threw it to the one-on-one. Love the decision. Go win the game.
I don't know how that was considered single coverage when you got a free safety roaming back there.
I'll pull the all 22 later on today if you guys want, and I'll show you tomorrow. That I'm telling you, that was directly on the side of us. That 42 was waiting for that
He's
ball to
playing
go
center
deep.
field, and the longer the ball's in the air,
Yes.
the more ground he can cover.
But to love that play when it was 4th and 4 with 4 minutes to go, he went on to say, I don't want to have the tie. I didn't want the tie. I knew if we kicked the field goal, we wouldn't get the ball back, and they have a chance to win it at that point. And I understand that aspect of it. Going forward on 4th down, I don't have the problem with. It's the play call that was ridiculous. Trey, did you guys see we showed you Trey McBride's 10 yards, 15 yards down the field. You needed 5
Right.
for a first down. Dortch, I'm telling you guys, came off the left side and was open. You just got to hit him. He might have had to reach out at that point. He might have been short of it, but there was a guy coming towards him. But you still can throw it to him and try to keep it alive. Those plays have a chance of being successful, Dale. You know what didn't? Throwing it deep down the field to Xavier Weaver, double covered. Had 0 chance of completion percentage. But you know what does? Throwing it to your guy. Why is Trey McBride 10 yards down the field, 15 yards down the field? It's disgusting. And the fact that he's like, I loved it. Go for the win. I loved it. Situational awareness is missing on these guys. And I don't get it. I don't understand it, Dale. You've been the NFL guy. What am I missing? Am I missing something? Or are you like, no, you're probably right.
Again, to me, and you pulled up 2 plays that are pretty egregious. So, the one at the end of the regulation seems to bother me a little bit more because you could have had up to 3 plays.
Yeah.
If your team hustled down there, it was a first down. Get up there, spike the ball.
Yep.
Because, yes, you got the defense on their heels, but you also don't know what you're doing.
They wasted 5 minutes getting the play call into this game. 5 seconds, I mean. 5 seconds wasted with everybody standing around
which is another
waiting
play.
for the play call. Exactly.
Inside
if
the
they would have
10-yard
spiked
line.
it then, it would have been 11 seconds. They got down there at 20,
Yeah.
and they could have spiked it at 20. So even if at 18 seconds, that's 3 plays.
Yes.
But even if you don't do it there, but you snap it, you spike it at 15.
You get
That's
two
still
plays,
2 plays.
and then you can kick a field
And guess
goal.
who you have on your team? Trey McBride. A guy that
The touchdown machine.
it's like they don't plan for these scenarios and they had no clue what to do in that situation. That's literally what it looks like, Dale. It's situational awareness. They are lacking it. What are they doing? Even Jonathan Gannon said, how we get out of this? We go back and we look at film and our preparation for the week. I don't know what they're preparing for because they look the same every week and nothing's getting better. So first of all, change that. Maybe don't prepare this week. Maybe just don't look at any film. Maybe just show up and just start playing. Let's see what happens if you just show up and just start playing with no idea what's going to happen.
No game plan.
Just do that. Let's see how that works out for you. Because what you're doing now sucks. But sitting there in the stadium in real time, you're just sitting there going, they're just trying to lose this game. They have no clue. They want to lose this game. And I'm not talking about the players. This is what pisses me off even more. The players are playing their tails off out there. And they're being let down by their coaching staff. It bothers the crap out of me, man.
Are you calling for somebody's head?
Oh, it's Drew Pen. If Drew Penzing's back on the staff next year, I swear to God, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm going to scream. I'm tied in for another year. But it's just stop renewing your tickets to this team. They're not serious. They're just wasting your time and effort. You know, and it's just, if we can see it, everybody can see it. They got to see it in this building. That's it. But here's the problem. The defense is a problem, folks. Their defensive play calls are bad too. Letting them drive down the field in ease with a quote-unquote prevent defense, even though it wasn't technically, after you take the lead in that fourth quarter was disgusting to watch. No effort. At least keep doing your defense, and if they go down and score, they go down and score. But you at least tried. Letting them go down the field and score is egregious. I'm to the point where somebody in the Cardinals organization, and I think I'm kidding on this, but I'm not sure. Somebody in the Cardinals organization has told this coaching staff to tank for a better draft pick. That's literally what it looks like out there. They are woefully unprepared. They're either woefully unprepared for these situations, Dale, or they have zero clue what they're doing. And I don't know which one's worse. I have no clue which one's worse. 4 turnovers and you can't win a game and you get 4 turnovers. You can't score after turnovers. That's what? Gifted with good field position. And you can't score on those turnovers? What?
Yeah, you just, again, whatever the stats were, it was like, 50 times the teams turned over the ball 4 times, and they were 0 and 40, or now they're 1 and 50.
Yeah.
Or 1 and 40, whatever.
Jacksonville's the first team to win, turning the ball over, or they have a 4 turnover differential. And Chad Ryland, 33 yard field. It's funny. He hadn't missed one under 50 in like years, and he misses a 33 yarder earlier in the game. That can come into play, but I tend to be a little bit more, forgiving on that type of a thing than I am on, other things earlier on in the game. But that's just another thing that you can kind of complain about a little as well. But then, the Cardinals in this game, it gets worse. As I'm pulling up a different stat here. Time of possession on this game. Cardinals dominated this. Time of possession. Just nauseatingly dominated this. There is no way, if I just showed you the stats of this game, that you went Cardinals lost this game. And they go into it. Sorry, guys, I'm pulling it up here real quick. Give me a minute here. I'm going to have to pull it up. There it is. Okay. I'm going to have to pull it up my phone here. Cardinals, 37 minutes and 26 seconds possession. And if you do the math on the time of a game, even with the overtime, Jaguars had it for 28 minutes and 33 seconds. First drive of the game for the Jacksonville. Travis Etienne, 47 rushing yards, 15 passing yards, and a touchdown. Dude almost had 100 yards on the first drive of the game, Dale.
Yeah.
One man. And you can't tell me, with your preparation, Jonathan Gannon, that you didn't say to yourself, we should probably stop this Etienne guy with the ball.
Well, I did the week before is run the ball.
So your preparation that you say you need to do in order to prepare for this week's game, your preparation, nobody went, we should probably stop that dude. And the first drive of the game, 42-yard run, and then a 15-yard catch. He had a 2-yard run in there too. 15-yard catch on side of it. Cardinals rushing plays. They end up with 55 yards, like you said, 32 at halftime. You're not even trying to run the football, and you're doing it. Total yards on this, 326 for the Cardinals. They move the football. They just can't score, which to me is coaching. Yes, players have stuff in it too,
Right.
but you're not dialing up the play calls that your players can have success in the red zone or to score touchdowns. You're not doing the right play calls in that moment to get your guys open. Most of the time when the Cardinals are trying to score a touchdown, they have 4 or 5 defenders. It's almost like they know the play that's coming. They're in the backfield, making the stop in the backfield, or there's 3 guys trying to keep your guy out of the end zone. It's just the play calling at that point. Cardinals had 25 first downs in this game. Jaguars 18. Third down efficiency, 5 of 16 for the Cardinals. On third down. 5 of 16. 1 and 3 on fourth down. Stop going for it on fourth down, guys. Stop it. Total plays, 76 total plays for the Cardinals, 61 for the Jaguars. And you had to kick a field goal to go into overtime, and you still lose the game? You dominated this game offensively, if you look at the stats.
Yeah, I mean, if you just close your eyes, look at that stat line.
That's what I'm saying.
You'd say there's no way that team that had, what, you said 38 to 24?
Yes. Yeah.
As far as time, you just look at that immediately. You go,
Well, if you want to round it, 38 to 28.
yeah, the Cardinals win the game.
It is a disgusting display of football and coaching by this Cardinal staff. And look, they have injuries. But again, I'm tired of hearing about injuries. 49ers had the same injuries and probably the more important players as well, probably better players than the Cardinals have. And they continue to win. I'm tired of hearing the injuries are an issue here. No. How come the 49ers coaching staff is able to coach around it and still have success? How come they can do that? And we can't. Why? It's the coaching staff.
I mean, I have a hard time coming up with anything contrary to what you're saying.
And I'll even go a step farther. I mean, I'm putting more on Jonathan Gannon because the defense is disgusting me at times now. You know, letting them, you take the lead in the fourth quarter and you let them just march down the field in 9 plays to score a touchdown, like a hot knife through butter. No defense whatsoever to try to put pressure on them. And it's just, what? Drew Penzing's not the only problem on this team. That's all I'm saying. And then I read an article on ESPN of young up-and-coming coaches to watch. And it's Drew Penzing and Rallis. No, I swear to God, last week. Drew Penzing and Rallis. Two coordinators to watch for the future. Watch them have your team lose.
I think you get through quite a few names before you get to those.
Well, there's other ones on the list,
Right.
but they were both on the list. And I don't get it, man. I don't get it, Dale. I just don't get it. And then, like tonight, folks, if you watch Monday Night Football, you're going to be watching your Carolina Panthers tonight. If they win tonight, first place in that division. You mean to tell me the Panthers have as much talent as the Cardinals do? Name somebody on the Panthers not named Young. Or T-Mac. I'll give you 2 players I'll take off the board. Name one player on the
that's
Panthers.
not fair.
Name one player on the Panthers not named T-Mac or Young. I'll wait.
Is Cam Newton still playing for him? Is McCaffrey still playing for him?
And they are, if they win tonight, they have sole possession of first place. The Carolina freaking Panthers are in first place tonight if they win. What are we doing here? Why are we doing this again this year? And then just continuing to say, we just need to come back and do more preparation and make not one change. Not one. Not even Not even firing anybody. Go find the hottest offensive coordinator guy that's sitting on his couch and fishing right now and pay him an ungodly amount of money to look at film and send in notes from his cabin in Alaska or wherever he is. And he could just look at the film and send you notes on your play calling abilities and things you should be doing. Send it out to 4 or 5 different coordinators and say, we'll pay you $30,000 if you just sit down and watch the game film for the last 3 games and tell us how we can improve our play calling in these games. You're not even doing that at a bare minimum.
Chip Kelly's available.
At this point, call Chip Kelly and say, Chip, look at our offense and tell us what we're doing wrong. I said yesterday on Twitter, I'm missing the Cliff Kingsbury days. Because that offense moved at least. That offense was fun. They had their own problems and everything, but that offense was fun.
I did hear somebody over the weekend say the Arizona Cardinals should be the Carolina Panthers this year.
Oh,
they should be
absolutely.
6-5. They should be hanging around. They should be in the hunt a little bit.
That's what we all said.
And Carolina Panthers, they're minus 42 in their point differential, but yet they're sitting there at 6-5.
Yeah, because defense mainly, but yeah.
But that's who the Cardinals should be, not sitting here at 3-8.
It's just disgusting to watch this display going on. And just the thing that bothers me the most is the lack of caring by the head coach. That's what bothers me the most. It's just, he doesn't care. You saw the clip. I loved it. Loved going for the win there. Loved it. When you could have gotten a first down and had 4 more chances at the end zone to win it. Loved it. Wouldn't do it any other way. Loved it. Oh my God, what are we doing?
I just looked at the standings on ESPN.
You're gonna make yourself angrier.
And the first E came up. The New York Giants have been eliminated from playoff
Yesterday.
conversation, and now the intern's even firing guys.
Yeah, Mike Kafka's firing guys. I mean, look, they've had 5 now major meltdowns in the fourth quarter where they had big leads.
Yeah.
And they've lost, Denver being the big one, of course.
Right.
But yeah, Tom Pelissero, NFL Network. 24 young candidates to know for 2026. Yeah, candidates for the upcoming cycle, Dale. They got Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady. I'm gonna not be surprised if he gets a job, and then Dable will go back to the Bills again as an offensive coordinator. Coming up, Patriots passing game coordinator, tight end coach Thomas Brown. Jaguars defensive coordinator Anthony Campanelli.
Well, they showed him a lot yesterday on TV.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
Are the Jaguars defense really that great? I mean, the Cardinals were moving the ball on them. I don't think they were. He put some schemes together that were impressive, but I didn't walk away going, this guy's a football
savant
genius, right? Colts offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter. He's always listed though. From that, Bears offensive coordinator Desian Doyle. Panthers defensive coordinator, I'm not even going to try to say that name. Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman. It's coming. Bucks offensive coordinator Josh Grizzard. Giants interim head coach Mike Kafka. And all these guys are in their 30s. Some of them are 29, by the way. For these young guys is what they're saying for their history. Clint Kubiak, Seahawks offensive coordinator. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get a job soon. Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur. Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter. Then you got an old guy here at 44, Eagles offensive coordinator. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. That Eagles offense this year. And then you got Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Penzing, defensive coordinator Nick Rallis on the list here. Coaches you should pay attention to for the next coaching hire.
Well, maybe it was for the next coach who's fired. He's got the articles mixed up.
Jonathan Gannon took the Arizona head coaching job 3 years ago. He assembled the NFL's youngest coaching staff with designs of letting bright young coaches he knew well grow into big roles. Yeah, how's that working out? How's that working out, fellas? Yeah, that list is out there.
Wow.
Hey, throw up the active head coaching stats here as well, Kobe, that graphic, if you would. Check this out, Dale. I got to pull this up on my... Oh, I can't read it there. Okay, look at this. So active, these are basically your stats here. Points per game rank, yards rank, years as head coach, obviously. These are all guys 1, 2, and 3 years. Obviously, Jonathan Gannon's third year right now. Yeah. Yeah. 25 points per game rank, 25th. How many teams are in the NFL, Dale?
32.
Mm-hmm. Yards per rank, 21. Yeah. Look at the guys ahead of him. Liam Cohen, ironically enough, after 1 year, in his first year, with a team that's probably has the same amount of talent as the Cardinals, if you had to be honest about it.
Yeah.
And look at him. He's ahead of him already. Ben Johnson in his first year. Look what he's doing with the Bears. And when you hire guys not ready for the job, this is what happens. When you hire guys that are ready for the job, Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald. Who heard of Mike McDonald as a coordinator unless you were a fan of that team that he came from? Who thought he was going to come in and remake this Seahawks team? But the thing that shocks me the most, who doesn't belong on the list? Brian Schottenheimer. Boy, look at that, Dale. Woo!
Look at him.
He's not there. Even D'Amico Ryans. His team has not been good this year until these last 4 weeks. And he's number 1 there. Look at that. Look at him go. Who got the coaching hire wrong? 3 years.
Yeah, well, that's a great way to put it. What name doesn't belong there? Although, you could look at Dave Canales and just say, hey, look at the rankings. But they got a winning record.
Yes. Well, this is the year they're turning it around, right? But, their offense still isn't stellar.
Right.
They're doing just enough. Their defense is what's carrying them now. But, if you just look at this, obviously other than Dave Canales, all these coaches were either hired when Jonathan Gannon was hired or after him. You'd rather have Brian Schottenheimer right now. We all made fun of that hire than Jonathan Gannon and his coaching staff. Now, it's not all Jonathan Gannon. I'll give him that. He brought in the youngest coaches. Some of that could have to do with money. Michael Bidwell's like, well, you have a limited pool you got to go with, right?
That is something that we don't know fully, but I don't think.
But other coaches, Bruce Arians brought in all the old fogies that were nearing retirement that had been around the league. What was that? Tom
Moore. I saw a deal on him last night.
He was 90 years old, I think, when he was here with Bruce Arians.
And he's still coaching.
This just stuck me out. And somebody put this on Twitter, and I don't know who it was, and I apologize. But it is very telling here on what the Cardinals, they missed on another head coaching hire. At least a coaching staff hire, let's put it that way.
Right.
I'm still not, other than Jonathan Gannon being the statue, I don't know what kind of coach he is, but I can tell you this, the people underneath him are a problem. That definitely, at least the minimum is the people underneath him are a problem.
The way this season's going, and obviously they had the 2 blowouts. This one was a competitive loss. No silver lining with that.
I don't even know if it was competitive.
But if there's not some changes made, I have a feeling that's got to come down from the top, that there will be changes made or you will be.
That's my argument here. I'm okay keeping Jonathan Gannon. I think I'm okay keeping Jonathan Gannon. But Drew Penting's got to go. I'm sorry, the whole offensive staff has to go. You need to change the culture in that offensive room. Period. End of story. And I'm leaning towards that maybe on the defensive side too right now. But I don't know. How much does Jonathan Gannon have to deal with the defense as a defensive head coach?
Right.
I don't know the answer to that. So, but you can't come back. Robert says, one thing this season has taught me is I won't have expectations next year if nothing changes. That's why I firmly, whether you know it or not, owners don't like to be embarrassed. And this is embarrassing to Michael Bidwell. And if nothing changes, I'd be shocked. There's going to be ultimatums laid down.
Yeah, if they end up with 3 or 4 wins,
like fighting Drew Pensing right now, what's that going to do?
Yeah,
who on the staff?
Right now,
who on the staff's going to step in and be able to step in and do a better job?
Right.
So I can understand keeping him till the end of the year, and defending him publicly and all of that stuff and things to that effect. It's just disgusting to watch this team, though. It's just disgusting. We can all see it. Ann does say, Dale, I live in Santan Valley, and my kids attend school in Gilbert Public Schools. Yeah, I forgot about that. She lives in Santan Valley. She goes all the way to Desert Ridge and those schools by my house. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's how far kids go for high school these
Right.
days. And that's why these high schools need to find a coach that kids can gravitate to and want to play for. It's not, and I'll even argue it's not even winning. It's, will that guy help me out? Will that guy be there for 3 years, that I'm there?
Right.
And will we have fun? And will we compete? And will I learn what I'm doing out there and hopefully improve? I'm not saying you go 2 and whatever, but, type of a thing as well. So, yeah. So, really quick, I know we're going to talk more. We're going to talk ASU tomorrow, Suns tomorrow with Bruce Cooper and everything. I know today was Cardinals heavy. College football, are you surprised Mike Norvell staying at Florida State? When their president said, we don't go 6-6 here. He didn't phrase it that way, but he basically said 6-6 ain't good enough here. That's good enough for Mike Norvell and his $60 million contract, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure there are probably some conversations with boosters and whatever said, hey, anybody want to write that check?
Those conversations were happening. I have it in good confidence. Those conversations happen, which tells you, no, how far have you fallen if you're Florida State where your boosters no longer want to win?
Yeah.
That's more shocking to me than anything else out there. The last thing I got for you, dear Dale, we'll talk about that. ASU plays Texas in basketball tonight over in Maui. I think it's a 9 p.m. tip-off our time. That's like noon Maui time or something. Big difference there. So that's coming up for you guys. If Sean Miller's the head coach of Texas, by the way. That's kind of those two battling it out again. Hurley and Sean Miller over there in Maui. You looking forward to that, Dale?
Sean Miller just bounces up and
Well, he went back to his old school he was at before. It was at
Xavier.
Villanova. Xavier, that's right. And then did well there again.
Yeah.
Sean Miller, to me, is the coach that does well at that mid-major and then gets up that level. We'll see how he does at Texas.
What's interesting when you said that, as far as everybody's kind of looking forward to the Cardinals, and they've fallen in the face. Everybody's looking forward to the Diamondbacks, and they didn't do well.
Yeah.
You know who everybody wasn't looking forward to?
The Suns?
The Suns. The Suns.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow as well. ASU has a chance to be in the Big 12 title. I mean, it's been diminished wildly with BYU winning the other night. Throw up the college football picks here, and we'll end on this note here, Dale.
Oh.
You always say I end in negativity, but today I'm going to end in something positive. Doesn't get more positive than that, Dale.
Well, it's kind of interesting you throw out the college football picks and not the NFL.
Well, because
picks.
NFL isn't over yet, even though our picks are over.
Congratulations, Steve.
Next week, after this weekend's games coming up, we'll have the regular season totals. And then
we won't. We're still waiting for the totals from 2 years ago.
No, we're actually started putting them together this weekend.
Oh, that must mean that you're ahead.
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. So we're going to do a regular season total, which doesn't mean anything. We're going to do the championship games. Will be a group that we're picking. Then, of course, all the bowl games as well, and then it'll all add up for a winner. But you'll know where you stand after this weekend's the champion or not championship games, the regular games. We'll talk ASU U of A tomorrow as well. This is the first time in a long time. I can't even remember the last time 8-3 teams were battling it out.
Go ahead with the territorial
Here
cup.
as well, right? Basically, you need Texas Tech to lose and a bunch of other teams to win. You need BYU to lose and and BYU's got UCF this weekend as well. We'll talk more about that tomorrow as well. For how they can get. So technically, hey, look, I know, and we go round and round. I go round and round with Bruce and a little bit on Dale on this. I know it's a disappointing season because you expected them to be in this game and get back into a playoff side. You win this game in 9 wins with the injuries and everything they've had. We're all going to look back at this and see the disappointment side of it, but they're building something here.
No, I'm not. I don't think if you win Friday and then you win a bowl game, you end up with 10 wins.
No, 10 exactly. But nine, I said 8, and anything 8, I thought 8 would be a disappointment. But 9, 10,
yeah,
it's still a disappointment. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's still a disappointment. But you've 2 years in a row of at least 9 wins. That's fantastic for a program like ASU, going in the right direction. Also going forward. Just a little quick men's college basketball stat here for you. Ranked men's college basketball teams against unranked teams so far this season, 95-0 in college. Usually you see some upsets.
Right,
early
especially
in the season.
early.
Especially the teams, 24, 25, they get knocked off by somebody in these types of tournaments. 95-0.
Look at you, Steve.
So far.
Scouring everything.
Oh, I calculated that myself. I was doing math this weekend, and So double check me, somebody. Double check my math, please, as well, as we deal with that. Myles Garrett, by the way, 18 sacks. He had 3 sacks again the other day. And look at your boy, Shedeur Sanders, playing the Raiders and looking like an all-pro. I want to see him play somebody with a good defense. Let's see what happens. happens then.
He can only play who's on the schedule.
I don't
Steve.
disagree. Give him that early confidence
Yeah.
as well. So Myles Garrett has 18. He only needs 5 more sacks in Cleveland in order to make it to the end as well. So we'll end the show here. See you all tomorrow, everybody. 8 o'clock. McCollum Business coming up at 11. Come and join me. See you, everybody.